What's up, everybody? Are you overwhelmed by the never-ending supply of depressing bad news? Well, let's refuel our tanks with 7 recent positive stories. This is Giddy News for the month of January 2021. Immigrant families pay tribute to Alex Trebek for helping them learn English is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Sakshi Venkatraman with NBC News, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. Fans of Jeopardy all over the world have mourned the death of longtime host Alex Trebek, but one group shared an extra special connection. Immigrant families living in the U.S. say watching Trebek, who was 80 and had hosted the quiz show for 37 years, helped them to learn English. Asme Toomey arrived in the U.S. from Morocco when she was 9, not knowing a single word of English, and she said watching Jeopardy was a big part of learning the language as it helped her navigate pronunciation, expressions, and nuance. She continued, "His kindness and his empathy and his sense of humor, those were all huge in my cultural understanding." Trebek was an immigrant himself who was born in Canada and became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 1998. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. This Arkansas school turned solar savings into better teacher pay is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Avery L. Felt of the Energy News Network, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. In Batesville, Arkansas, a solar array at the local high school is boosting teachers' pay. Energy efficiency company Integrity, based in Little Rock, found that the school's district annual utility bills surpassed $600,000. A steep sum for a school system already strapped for cash and struggling to retain teachers as a result. But they also found the school district could save at least $2.4 million over 20 years if it outfitted the school with solar panels and updated the heating and cooling systems. For Michael Hester, the school superintendent, that was reason enough to move forward. The project that resulted generated enough savings in 3 years to transform the district's $250,000 budget deficit into a $1.8 million surplus. And a major chunk of that money is going toward teacher salaries and fueling pay raises. Hester said, "There's at least 20 school districts just in our area that have emulated our model." 17-year-old is adopted after 3,739 days in foster care is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Nicole Pelletier with Good Morning America, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. A 17-year-old has found a forever home after spending a decade in the foster care system. Akyra Holstein was adopted in Kentucky by Katie Holstein after 3,739 days and 24 prior placements. Holstein began fostering children in August of 2017. She's assisted other foster parents with respite care, where she'd take in foster kids on a short-term basis. Holstein was fostering several children when she began the adoption process for Akyra. "And the thing I love about her most," Holstein said, "is how resilient she is. Even though she's been in foster care for so long only to be disappointed, she took a chance on me and my family and let herself be loved again." Profits from wine label go to good cause is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of RNZ New Zealand, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. In addition to growing organic grapes for his boutique, Terrace Edge brand, Pete Chapman has another wine label where all the profits go to an organization that works with human trafficking survivors. Pete says, "We bought the land in 1999 and it has always been a family project." 3 years ago, Pete and his wife Alana created another brand wine from the Terrace Edge vineyard grapes called 27 Seconds. That name stems from the stat that every 27 seconds, a child in the world is sold or trafficked into slavery. With every bottle of 27-second wine sold, 100% of the profits go to Hagar, an NGO which provides recovery care to survivors of slavery, trafficking, and severe abuse in Afghanistan, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Pete says, "We see it as a really sustainable model. Not every business has to be creating profits for shareholders." COVID-hit mother wakes up from coma to find she has given birth to twins is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Lisa Dowd with Sky News, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. A hospital consultant delivered twins prematurely while she was in a coma with COVID. Perpetual Uke, a rheumatology consultant in Birmingham, was taken to the city's Queen Elizabeth Hospital and ended up on a ventilator in an induced coma, and her babies were born by cesarean section. When she came out of the coma, she thought they hadn't survived. Mizuke said, By the time I woke up, I was so disoriented. I thought I'd lost my pregnancy because I couldn't see my bump anymore. But Boo Palmer, a girl, and Pascal, a boy, were born and at just 26 weeks old. They were placed in incubators on the neonatal intensive care unit. The mother spent another 16 days on the critical care unit before eventually meeting them. She said, "Sometimes I look at them in tears. It is amazing what medical professional science can offer." Revolutionary CRISPR-based genome editing system treatment destroys cancer cells is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Tel Aviv University and the Medical Express, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. Researchers at Tel Aviv University have demonstrated that the CRISPR-Cas9 system is very effective in treating metastatic cancers. The researchers developed a novel lipid nanoparticle-based delivery system that specifically targets cancer cells and destroys them by genetic manipulation. The revolutionary work was conducted by Dr. Daniel Rosenblum and other colleagues in the laboratory of Professor Dan Peer. Research demonstrated that a single treatment doubled the average life expectancy of mice with glioblastoma tumors, improving their overall survival rate by about 30%, and the survival rate in metastatic ovarian cancer mice increased by 80%. Professor Peer stated, "It must be emphasized that this is not chemotherapy. There are no side effects, and a cancer cell treated in this way will never become active again." Proud North Texas family watches their astronaut son make history is the Giddy News headline, courtesy of Kevin Reese with CBS News 19 WLTX, and a link to the source will be included in the description below. When the Crew Dragon capsule Resilience docked at the International Space Station, a proud dad watched from Prosper, North Texas. That's because for this historic moment in time, his son is in the pilot seat. Victor Glover Jr. is an engineer, Navy commander, F-18 pilot, and now the pilot of the Resilience. He has become the first black long-term resident of the ISS. Glover Jr. said, "I am honored to be in this position and to be part of this great and experienced crew." He continued, "The job that we do on the ground to motivate and inspire the next generation of our science and technology workforce is one of the best parts of this job for me." His father stated, "He knows how much I love him and how much I am so very proud of him." All right, that's it. I would love to hear what you think about this edition of Giddy News. And if you have a positive news story you'd like for me to share, please include a link in the comments below. And until next time, take care of yourself, and thanks for watching.